Quote from the book on profit sharing. Instead of using the traditional method of paying suppliers a product-based procurement price, you can agree to share the profit. This especially makes sense when the supply has a significant effect on the success of the business. Okay, I will explain this one with a personal story. A story that got me into the high-tech industry. Let's get started. In 2010-11, executives at a PC maker read the purchasing chessboard, and they invited me to the headquarters in the US to introduce the chessboard. As part of the introduction, they asked me to look into the way they buy notebooks or PC laptops. A bit of context is required here. Contrary to their name, PC makers don't really make PCs. What they do is they define the PC they want to sell in a certain product market segment. Defining means that they determine the specs, the price, and the industrial design. And depending on the product, they may do more or less of the product architecture. But most of the engineering, all of the manufacturing and assembly, and almost all of the supply chain is done by companies referred to as ODMs. Basically, all the ODMs American PC makers are working with are headquartered in Taiwan. Foxconn is the best known of these ODMs, but when we are talking about notebooks, companies like Quanta, Compal, Wistron and Pegatron are the ones that come to mind. The PC maker executives told me what is important to them when working with an ODM. They want to be relevant for the ODM. They want the ODM to dedicate the A-team to the notebook project. And they want to have competitive cost. In order to understand the points about being relevant and having the A-team, we need to go back to what we discussed before. Once the PC maker has defined the product, the ODM does most of the heavy lifting in terms of product development and engineering. The ODMs make tons of small decisions. Combined, these small decisions can make a huge difference on the product. In the end, the ODM can make a great concept fail in the market, or the ODM can nurture a mediocre concept to become a great success. Now you can imagine my surprise when the PC maker told me that their main way of dealing with ODMs is G1, cost-based price modeling. So in essence, they collect all kinds of cost drivers and factor costs from suppliers and cherry-pick the lowest elements. Looking at the chessboard tells us that G1 is a great method when you enjoy overwhelming demand power. But as we discussed before, there is less than a handful of ODMs. And for a number of reasons, a PC maker will not work with more than 2 or 3 ODMs. So what I showed the PC maker is a slide like this one. So you guys are deploying a method from down there in the chessboard, but in truth you should be up there. You need the ODMs and the ODMs need you. You want them to engineer a great product for you, and you want them to drive down cost across the entire product lifecycle. With this, you will have end customers flock to the product. So you should make ODMs true partners in business through profit sharing. This will align their incentive with your objectives. The result of this little speech was me spending the subsequent 8 years in the high-tech industry. So there you have it, G8 profit sharing, a method to get the best value out of a supplier who has a huge influence on the overall perception of your product in the market. Okay, now it is your turn. Are you aligning the incentives of your key suppliers with your overall objectives in the market? And how would you benefit from profit sharing with selected suppliers? And would that even be feasible? Should you have any question, let me know in the comments down below and I will get back to you within 24 hours. Thank you for watching and I see you in the next one. Bye.